Hello! If anyone is watching, and this is just to get started, if my audio is too loud, the game is too quiet, or my mic is too quiet, anything like that, I still don't really get that much chance to try and monitor everything before I go into the game, and OBS can act a little bit differently to other things, so just let me know and I can adjust it, and then I'll know in future what settings to leave it as. Hopefully it's not always the same settings for every stream, sometimes things change. Anyway, so here we are in Derwentwater, in the heart of the Lake District, just outside, well, just outside Keswick. In real life, you know, you'd have a few ducks and swans here, people feeding them. We're in live time and live weather, so this is what it's like here now. Where I am, a little bit north of here in Carlisle, it is a little bit cloudy, and we're looking towards Carlisle there and you can see the clouds. So I don't know if anyone's in Keswick. Is it as clear as this there at the moment? Don't know. But yeah, we're going to start off in Derwentwater. If anyone watching has Flight Simulator and wants to join me, I'm on the North European server. There's no flight plan or anything like that. But if you're on the North European server and go on the world map, you should be able to find me, and then you can click where I am and select to start your flight there. Amphibious craft are the best for this particular stream, because there's no real or very few landing strips in the Lake District. There's a couple, but we're going to be jumping around from lake to lake, and as you'll see, I am in basically a rubber dinghy with a hang glider on top of it. Outstanding. And yeah, we're just going to take off from here. There is, because I did test this before, and there is a bump in the water for some reason. That's a glitch. Don't know why it's like that, but hey ho. But we'll get up in the air and fly around, just explore the place. So let's get in. Alright, if anyone's tried this craft before, I'll just show you around it. There's a couple of basically hammocks. You can see the landing gears, or wheels basically, just left and right, and they're in the raised position there. So there's enough room for someone to be behind us on a hammock there, and there's basically a propeller on the back, hang glider above us, and just like a hang glider, we just grab onto this thing in front of us and roll that to adjust our flight. And then down here, there we go, is our cockpit as such, and basically we've got an on-off switch, we've got RPM, a compass, and a fuel gauge. No altimeter in this. There's the landing gears, yeah, battery, and the magneto, basically the ignition switch. So yeah, don't even have an altimeter. But so our altimeter is basically that. I'll turn my webcam off now because I'm sick of looking at my face, and I'm sure you are too. And let's get this thing airborne. So this is Derwentwater. We've just fallen off that little thing. So this is Derwentwater, one of the more popular lakes for tourists. I see we've got a little GoPro out there on the left hand side. Behind us is the town of Keswick, which is one of the more popular tourist hotspots in the lakes. You can see we've got like a little hut down there on that island. and a little jetty there. If we go, oops, apologies. I need to remember every time I do something to switch focus back to the flight sim window. So yeah, you can see Keswick behind us. And I don't know if you can just about catch below my wing. Oh dear. That's a bit of an issue with my controls. Fuck it. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just fly around. I'll talk occasionally. I feel like I maybe need to turn this down a bit. Maybe better. I'll talk occasionally just to let you know where we are and what we're looking at. So, at the end of Derwentwater there is Borrowdale, another popular place with the tourists. And there's a crag in Borrowdale called Castle Crag, popular with climbers, like proper rock climbers, not hikers. It's a small but, you know, a proper steep little rock. So it's interesting to see how that looks in the sim. And that mountain, well, hill to our right there, by the side of the lake, crisscrossed with footpaths, is Cat Bells. Because it's quite close to Keswick, it's also very popular. But what we'll do is we'll fly down Borrowdale, and once we get to the bottom of Borrowdale, we're kind of at the apex of the Lake District. I'll get a little map up and show you if it works. Well, I need to zoom in. So there we are, there's the Lake District, and look. Oh, sorry. Nope, it's zoomed back out again. I'll try again. So there you can see Derwentwater in the middle where we are. And there's other lakes around there, Buttermere, Crummock, Ennerdale, Wastwater, Thirlmere, Ullswater there, Haweswater, and the largest one, Windermere, and also Coniston there, and a few smaller ones. You can see Esthwaite and they're all quite long, thin lakes because these are glacial valleys that have then filled up with water, and the Lake District itself was formed from volcanic rock, and where we are at the moment would have been like the centre of this kind of volcanic bulge. So it's basically all these glaciers. I've zoomed it back out again, so I'll just go back to normal. So all these glaciers kind of have fanned out from the central bulge, and then as the lakes have replaced the glaciers, we've now got lakes fanning out from a central point. And just at the bottom of Borrowdale here is an area called Esk House, which is roughly the central point. So we can kind of go there and then head off in a direction and see if we can land on one of the other lakes. You can see Bassenthwaite Lake behind us over there, sort of on the far side of Derwentwater. Quiz nerds will tell you it's the only lake, in inverted commas, in the Lake District. It's the only one that's actually called a lake. The only one that actually has a lake in its name. And beyond there is a Solway Firth, which is essentially, a firth is basically an estuary, big wide estuary. And further beyond that is Scotland. And you can see Skidder, that mountain just behind, the sort of like big bulking one just behind Keswick. and Borrowdale. We've kind of gone a little bit to the left of Borrowdale, so it's down there off our right hand side, and you can see one of the many tarns. So if I could bring the map up with any reliability, I'll be able to tell you which tarn it is, but sometimes little nav map that I use, oh, that's not what I wanted to happen. That is Watendleth Tarn down there. This hill ahead of us that I'm kind of looking at now is Great Crag, will it be? Or probably this one here. It could be Gladamara actually, because yeah, you can see this kind of U shape here, and you can see that we're looking at it there, and it's zoomed out again, so let's just go back to this. So yeah, that's Gladamara ahead. It's going to be a fairly short stream, this. You know, we get to stream until just before 8, and then what I'm doing is I'm going to bugger off and go to virtually in Flight Simulator, zoom off to Peru, where I'll be kind of jumping aboard to Tone Murphy's stream where he's flying around the 7 wonders of the world, and today is Machu Picchu. So I'm gonna, you know, as well, I'll drop a link to his. I don't think YouTube does raids yet. It's only recently started doing clips, so you know it is becoming a bit more streamer oriented. We're quite high. We don't have the altimeter, so but you know, who needs altimeters? Somewhere down there is Castle Crag, I think. Oh wait. If we go around the right hand side of Gladamara, it'll get us to the top of Esk House where we can. And I was thinking maybe we go down the Western Lakes, because then we could go to the coast, not just lakes, and see if we can land in Whitehaven Harbour, because I've downloaded ORBX's Central UK stream scenery. Central UK is what they're calling the north of England, and that includes lots of little landmarks that, you know, are too small to include in the base game, but you know, really kind of like, especially this kind of flying VFR. I never know whether I'm talking to people on this stream who know what the terminology of all this is, because I'm not a pilot. I only know this terminology through Flight Sim, VFR's Visual Flight Rules, which is basically navigating by going, okay, look, there's a mountain, we're going to the right of this mountain and we're going to go over that, as opposed to IFR, which is what commercial airline pilots do, you know, where they navigate by using radio beacons and things. You know, they're not looking out their window to see what they're above. So that's Honister Pass over there actually, and we might actually turn in that direction because it's a particular favourite of mine. There's a couple of lakes there, Buttermere and Crummock. So just in front of our, I say plane, dinghy. Just in front of our dinghy now is Esk House. And so I think that might be Sprinkling Tarn that we can just about see. I don't know if I should maybe try and land in one of these tarns at some point, but they're not very big. So, but anyway, yeah, you know, if you're a hiker or a, you know, a fell walker or a climber, quite a lot of your walks, you might come past this area that we're looking at now, because I say it's kind of the middle where everything else spokes out from. That is the lake that we is kind of like straight in front of us now. If I move my head this way, the one that's just obscured by the central pole is Ennerdale. That is Wastwater over there, just beside the GoPro, which is the deepest lake in England. And beyond that, you can see the sea. Quite a lot of Cumbria is coastal, and you can definitely see that from up here. Tourists often don't appreciate it because they come from the south east of the county, where basically the rest of the UK or the rest of England is, because we're in the far northwest. So they come from over there behind my propeller. So they kind of come from the inland. And they don't really think about the coast, but quite a lot of coast in Cumbria. Because I was born on it, not literally on the coast, but in a hospital in a town on the coast. If you look over to the, shall we say, it's just to the left of the GoPro. It's that hill jutting out above the horizon in the distance is Blackcomb. It's a bit separate from the hills of the Lake District, and it's right on the coast there near Millham, and locals will tell you that it doesn't matter how sunny it is, you can never see the summit of Blackcomb. Not because it's tall, just because it's always cloudy there. You can clearly see the summit of it today. So this is Fleetwith Pike below us. Say the terrain looks a little bit oversaturated to my eyes, but it still looks pretty lovely. And then this smaller lake straight ahead of us is Buttermere. The larger lake behind it is Crummock. And there's a smaller lake just behind and slightly off to the left from Crummock called Loweswater, and you can just about see a little hint of blue there. So I've got a head tracker. If I put my face back on, apologies for the poor quality of the camera, by the way. Had a decent camera, couldn't get it to work, had to go back to the crappy camera, and now the camera's not even pointed at me. I don't care, I don't like seeing my own face. I'm sure you don't like seeing my face either, but I just wanted to show you. You can see I'm wearing a baseball cap, and I've got these three. Oh, bugger! Well, yeah, I think that just demonstrated exactly what's going on there. Yeah, it's a head tracker, allows me to look around. But I have to, depending on where I put my seat, depending on like how I'm sitting, I might be in a situation where I start turning my head. See, this is fine. I can turn my head right the way around without losing tracking. Sometimes, it can be a bit tricky to get seated in such a way where you don't start looking to the left. If I move over here, start looking to the left, start losing tracking. Get rid of my face. And let's lower the throttle because we need to descend. We're not going to be landing on any lakes at this altitude. I've done it again. Right, the button to change view in Flight Simulator happens to be the same as the button to change view in OBS. So if I don't have Flight Simulator focused, then what happens is it changes to that map thing. There we are. Enjoy the view. I'll try and get some music on my stream at some point in the future, but right now just deal with this. While you listen to the sound of me taking screenshots. There's loads of water over there. Maybe we should try and land on that because we're a bit we're a bit high up. I don't know why when I go to... why there's a view that's basically this. Is there anything I can actually do here? As a fuel valve. I guess that's why we go here. Can we lower the RPM a bit? I wouldn't mind getting down at some point. Alright, there's loads of water there. We're going to aim for that because we... and then we're going to try and fly a bit lower. Because I went right up in the air and ended up a bit too high to land on either Buttermere or Crummock. I thought I might be landing on Crummock. We'll go and land on loads of water. Funnily enough, in this view, we do actually have an altimeter. Altimeter, airspeed, angle of attack indicator. We've got all kinds of things that aren't privy to the poor guy in the cockpit. Also, what surprises me is that this has trim. Who knew? I quite like the the GoPro there. That's a nice touch. One thing you'll notice if you fly over kind of hilly terrain like this, especially the Lake District, is that, and if you've, you know, been playing with Flight Simulator since it came out, is that phraseology, man, playing. Quite a lot of trees on top of the mountains. This is a bit inaccurate, and it's the AI basically assuming that any black dot it sees must be a tree. But they did fix this, and I think one of the sim updates, or maybe it was the UK World update, lowered the number of, got rid of all these kind of like mountaintop trees, made it look a bit more realistic. But the recent sim update appears to have accidentally, presumably, put them all back. What would be a bit more realistic is bracken, because I think it probably is kind of like bracken and things that it's mistaking as trees rather than it being completely bald. There is actually a lot of bracken on the top of these fells. Come on, let's get landed. We definitely don't have flaps. Enjoy the view here. Come on. What's going on? Why isn't it? You'd think the water would slow it down. It still seems to be acting like a plane. Come on. Get down. I think we're down. But there's no water effects. So something makes me think that, as you'll see, it wants to tip over. It's still acting a bit too much like a... Yeah, there should be like a wake and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to blame Microsoft for that, not the makers of the boat. Because the boat works fine. It did fine when it landed on Derwent water. There should be some nice water effects, but something about this lake it doesn't recognise. Now, I've been here and there are nowhere near this number of trees. So I don't know exactly if there were the same number of trees before the update, but I think the update has incorrectly added a lot of trees to places like Cumbria. Anyway, we're just lake hopping, so let's get going again. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any kind of water resistance or anything. So I don't think that was what was supposed to happen. Reflections are a bit low quality there compared to what they should be. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we need to kind of mess around with since the update. It has made the graphic... Well, it has made the sim run smoother. But most players probably need to tweak their graphics settings again now. So let's go head to Whitehaven, which is my hometown, and see if we can land in the marina, and also check out the pier, which is one of the Jesus Christ, why can't I speak? The pier, which is one of the landmarks that the ORBX scenery has added. So I think this is Hynock, this little valley here. One of the great things about Cumbria is that everything has a name. Every rock, every little gap in the trees. So we've got down there little circles. They might be little sheep pens. This would be maybe made out of walls in reality. And you've got a little town there. It's called Hynock Town. Do we have anyone with us? I don't know. I mean, I see people over there. I like this boat though. It's quite easy to fly. It's fun. It's especially fun when you land in water that actually has effects. Hopefully the sea will. Oh, come on. Let's get over here. Get over, get over, get over, get over. So yeah, we'll go up here and say hi to all the fell walkers. Let's... Oh, hell. I've changed my control scheme and I was going to put the wheels down just in case I end up not quite making it over this hill and brushing against the ground. But I think we're actually going to make it over. Can you imagine though, if you were like a fell walker walking along along this ridge and you see this? So that's Cogra Moss down there, which is actually a small reservoir. And that is Ennerdale just over there. So actually let's go and land in that. Let's just try and not get too high, and I can't see what the wind's like. Give me a second. No wind. Okay, so I'm not getting blown over in that direction. Okay. Don't want to do that. Yeah. Let's get down here. Ennerdale. Love 'em headlights. So that's Angler's Crag. You can see the kind of craggy, rocky bit straight ahead of us there on the other side of the lake. Oh, we don't want to plough into the lake. Some weird reflections going on here. Let's see if we've got any nice water effects. Note to self, just the reflection quality. Oh, we're coming in a bit hot. Oh. No water effects there. Maybe the water effects, I think they only came in. I mean, it didn't really do much amphibious flying, but they maybe only just came in with the recent sim update, and maybe they have to actually be enabled by the, or or the boat creator has to do something. I say for them to work. Because there are some nice water effects if you've got another amphibious plane. One of the ones that comes with a sim. Let's get up in the air again. I need to re-download the mod that lets me remove the HUD phrases HUD. Why do I say such stupid things? God knows. That lets me remove the HUD. Be a bit easier to get photos while flying. And where's... Oh, there's my menu. I thought it had gone. Because this mode, you actually can't control the plane when you're in that mode. So if you want to get a photo, like a nice screenshot with no obstructions, you have to be quick. And it'd be nice if there was a way to... Oh, what's going on? No. Yeah. Okay, out west we go. So we've landed on 2 lakes, we've landed on Loweswater, we've landed on Ennerdale. Can we land in the sea? Can we land in Whitehaven Marina? Find out. And seeing as there's no mountains to go over, let's try and be a bit... Oh. I feel like there's a sensitivity need adjusted for this. So this is the joystick in the middle. It does kind of keel over to the right. That's normal. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe there's a gust that I'm not aware of. Oh, little farmhouse. Hello, down there. Like a little village. Ennerdale Bridge, perhaps. Hello. Haha. We're in a boat. Okay, so if you look over to the right, you can see Solway Firth and the hills on the other side of it. Quite recognisable ones. If you live local to here, you look out over the sea and you can see Criffle there. It's the one that you can actually see. There are some weird artifacts. What's going on over there? Some kind of mirage. We don't know. What? Where are we? Let's see if we can tell, or if I can tell, just by looking at it. Don't actually know. Get back down again though. Don't want to be too high up. Kirkland perhaps. There's something over there I haven't seen in a while. which is a little tower block out in the countryside. It's gotten a lot better. There used to be loads of tower blocks out in the country because it wasn't very good at detecting. I mean, it was very good at picking up buildings, but not very good at kind of picking up the right building style. There's one down there that looks like it's hard to tell from up here, but maybe that's a modern building. It shouldn't be, but maybe it's being rendered as one. See, this down here looks more farm-like. Does that look like some kind of barn? And quarry here. Something's not right over there. Oh, we're quite close to Whitehaven. What on earth is going on there? Maybe. Yeah, I think this is Whitehaven. Or the edge of it. Maybe. Well, is that Dent? Dent, like, you know, if you're from Whitehaven or Cleatormoor, I think that's Cleatormoor, the town just. So, yeah, so this is Frizzington, the village just above the tip of my hang glider there. And then if we look over there, we've got Cleatormoor and this little outlying hill, Dent. Got this quarry. You can see Ennerdale in the background. I think that there, just behind us, is a quarry that's filled with water. Don't know what's. There's a gap in the terrain. What on earth has happened there? So this is the Western Lakes, and you know, this sort of skyline here behind us is pretty familiar to anyone who lives in this area. Is that actually a mistake in the terrain, or is it just some kind of bug where the terrain's not showing? Don't know. Let's reduce throttle and get down low over Whitehaven because we're going to land in the harbour. Can't see the harbour at the moment because we're outside of town, and well, yeah, the harbour is just over the. It's basically downhill from here, so you can't actually see the town centre from where we are. Is this still Egremont below? No, Egremont. Frizzington below us, yeah, Frizzington. And I definitely have to take some pictures here for friends that I know that live in Frizzington. Ah, no, here's something interesting. If we look over there, I might actually zoom in so we can see this better. You can just about see. Make sure that you can see it. Sellafield. There's Dent in the foreground, Blackcomb in the background. Ah, there's Whitehaven West Pier. I mean, I'll just say this, the ORBX landmarks, it's about £10, and for that you get hundreds of landmarks. So each one is made fairly roughly, and it's better than what was there to begin with. You know, it's a building of the right shape, colour, style, correct details on it. Most of the ones, some of the ones that I've seen, certainly the ones that they put in the videos, the trailers for it, are especially well done. Some of them, like the ones I've seen around Cumbria, where a bit outside of the main kind of cities and stuff, they're a bit more rough and ready. But you get what you pay for £10, and you get like maybe 300 or 400. Certainly, the actual price that you paid per landmark is pennies. So it's good what they've done, but don't expect to be wowed by it when you get up close. Apart from the one or two that they've done really good job of, the ones that are going to be, that people are going to be flying over to, like the big landmarks in places like Liverpool and Manchester. So what we've got down below us now is Whitehaven Golf Course. And we've got Moresby Parks to our right. Let's get a bit lower, and this is... Well, the golf course has a nice little clubhouse. It's kind of like a modern municipal golf course. People can hire it out for birthday parties and wedding receptions and stuff. So I've been to it a few times for things like that. We have, to our right, St Benedict School, which is the school I went to. But I have no idea what those three big buildings are. Either they've built something since I was last there, because they are like rebuilding the school, which is why it's all kind of like dug up and yellow, because they're probably in the process of building the new school. But I think that's sometimes what it does is, especially sort of like in construction sites and stuff, where you'll get like little groups of porta cabins and stuff, it can incorrectly detect those as being potentially larger buildings than they are. Suburbs, like what we have below us now, it does a really good job on. I mean, the houses down here, they're all fairly distinct from one another, and perhaps uses a few building styles that don't fit, because this is all modern suburbia, but because it's England, they see fit to throw the odd half-timbered thatched house in, because hey, we're in England, sure, there's half-timbered thatched houses everywhere. We've got Whitehaven Town Centre. So the town itself here was built on a grid pattern. It was built in the 1700s when coal was found in the region. So it was kind of one of the first planned towns. I mean, another area where it struggles a bit is where you got town centres and stuff where buildings are quite closely packed together, and sometimes it doesn't really detect them. It just kind of so you get areas where there are no buildings at all, where in fact there are actually a few buildings. Well, quite a few buildings. It's not. There's a few industrial units and various things that shouldn't be there. Also, the cars seem to kind of go back and forward a lot. Let's go and have a little look. So, here we are. This is Whitehaven. Not this many boats in real life. So yeah, you can see it's kind of like a low detail, but fairly decent. I mean, certainly from a distance. Okay, well let's ditch in the sea. I mean, the sea surely. I know the live weather says no wind. It's actually a fairly windy day. The sea shouldn't be this flat. maybe we can adjust this. This could be dangerous. Where's my weather options? Ah. Why can't I select live weather? Normally that's because I've got live. This might be a change in Sim Update 5. So normally the weather thing is only grayed out if you've selected your multiplayer option to be live weather only. So you can only see players that are in live weather, and when you do that it restricts you from altering the weather. But I haven't done that, but it's restricting me from altering the weather. The cliffs aren't too bad there. Again, too many trees. The trees behind the town, that's actually pretty accurate. There's not so many trees down there, but you know, usually where you got cliffs and stuff, it doesn't do a very good job because it goes off the terrain mesh that it has, which isn't high detail enough to get cliffs. But yeah, this is, you can see Simbi's head down there. Incongruous cruise ship. I mean, you do occasionally get just dip the wing. You occasionally get cruise ships coming out this way. Occasionally. Alright, back up. Let's go back into the lakes. But not without a few of these. See, there should be some, you know, some sailing ships out there. I should add that the ships are added by... All these ships and boats are probably ones that have been added by a freeware mod called Global Ship Traffic that adds a lot more of the correct type of boats. See, all the boats in the marina are like real. A lot more of the correct type of boats than the default sim. What's that over there? Something tall. Well, there shouldn't be anything tall. It's a church. Oh, it'd be St Beg's Church. But in reality, St Beg's Church... It does detect churches. So that's Whitehaven Castle just down there. Which is not a real castle, it's a stately home. So it doesn't look that different to that. St Beg's Church down there. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like a traditional church. That's Kells up on the hill. Kind of like housing. You've got the rugby ground down there. Hillcrest and Midgey. And we're just flying over Corkicle and towards Myris. All the local neighbourhood names. So we've done we've come from Loweswater. So where should we go next? There's the hospital, the kind of big hospital-y looking building there. Myris Pond. And you've got, so this is St B's Head, which you could see when we were down by the water. But now it's kind of like you're looking at the top of the cliff, so you can't actually see the cliff. And you can see the Alaman down there. How long have we got left? We've got, I'd say, give me enough time to go and join Two Tone Murphy. 'Got 15 minutes, so... 15 minutes, so 15 minutes, 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 15 min Let's see if we can go land somewhere else. I'm gonna say Wastwater. We started in Derwent Water, we landed Lowes Water, Energy. So we're doing the Western Lakes. We've flown over Buttermere and Crummock, landed in Lowes Water, landed in Ennerdale, landed in Whitehaven Harbour. Let's go and land in a tarn and end it there. If I die, I die. I'll die happy. This is what we shall do. I will look at the map, and the nearest sort of tarn actually not really many tarns around this around this neck of the woods. Tarns tend to be in the middle. Scout tarn. Is it possible? I mean, I find out. See Sellafield still down there. So that there, where you can see all those buildings with the trees around them, is Westlake Science Park. Trees are accurate there, and it does kind of like it stands out as being a bit more manicured and watered than the fields around. That seems kind of accurate. So what else have we got? This is Big Rig. And yeah, you can see some bees over there on the coast. And there's Egremont. There we go. We've got Egremont, Sellafield, Blackcomb. And if you look over there, so we've got Scafell in the background there, highest mountain in England. We've got Dent, Cleatamore, Cleater. Okay, we want to fly pretty much exactly east from here. Okay. So there are some instruments that come in handy. So there's Wastwater. Well, you can't see Wastwater, but that kind of like big black bit of hillside. Well, it's black because it's in the shade. Behind my pole there is Wasdale Screes. Wastwater is at the bottom of it. You can see that bit of sand there, and you can see an inlet. That's Ravenglass. Sellafield is a bit more visible from here. So, and just to the heck, we need to be descending, but not too fast. So just on this kind of like area of moorland of Highfell in front of Wastwater, should find a couple of tarns, and we'll try and land in one. And you know, I'm going to say this, inevitably die, but you know, it's fun, isn't it? Sellafield is far from the prettiest thing you'll ever see, but you know, if you're travelling up and down the Cumbrian coast, you can't well miss it. Might have to have a fiddle around with the graphics settings and some of the control settings as well between this stream and joining two-tone. Oh, I hope the audio is working. I'd hate to have said this much crap for this long and it not have recorded. Oh, come on, get down. They could do with adjusting the order at which the camera angles change, because you know, you start that in most of the planes in the sim. When you go down, you know, your first thing you go is to the panels right in front of you, but here we go to that. We can do that, which is good. My keybind for the landing gears doesn't work, but it's okay, we don't need them. 15 minutes till Murph. Can we find a tarn? Better view of Ravenglass over there. You can kind of see that it's an estuary. Should be sandy like, but no, they haven't sorted that out yet. Behind Sellafield, well, south of Sellafield there, you got the villages of Gosforth Inland and Seascale on the Sea. Maybe the reason why I can't change... Yeah, maybe the reason why I can't change the weather is because... so you can't set to start off on a lake, you know, you've got to set to start off in an airport. So I wanted to start this stream on a lake, so I just started at an airport, flew, landed, then saved it there, and then I could load the save. Maybe that's also a situation, because it's not something that I usually do, actually save it and then come back to it and start off mid-flight. Maybe that's something that if you do that you can't change the weather. There's a lake, no sorry, Lake Tarn, I can see it, little glimpse. If I move, oh, something... I mean, this has no flaps, so the only way to slow yourself down on approach is there is no way. Is just basically through the throttle. So the tarn is going to be way too small for us to land in. So we're going to die. But it's okay, because someone is going to come along and find our GoPro, and they're going to see just how much fun we had. So yeah, you can see Wastwater there and the big steep Wasdale Screes. So that kind of like brings me to, just before we crash in this tarn, a local sport. I say local, I've never known anyone who did it. I say sport, it's more of a daredevil thing. It's something that you hear that the local kind of farm lads like to do, but I don't know how many people actually do it. But it's called scree running, where they go to the top of the hill, mountain, and then just slide all the way down into the lake. I don't know. I said that as if I kind of like... could tell you a bit more about it, but it's kind of one of those things I don't even know. Maybe it's something that just one person did and it became a bit of a local legend, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, if you're Cumbrian, the Cumbrians, do they go scree running, eh? Cumbrians love a bit of scree running. Who knows how many people have done it. Seems like a bit of a mad thing to do to me. I mean, it seems like the sort of thing that if you did it, whether you lived or died, it would make the news. Who knows? So we're a bit high. Aha, there's another one there. I'm not sure we have time to try and make it to that one, so we're going to go for this one. It's been nice knowing you. Should we just dead stick? Let's dead stick. Yeah, I can see a couple there. Let's try and do a few S-turns. Try and avoid going over it. And the thing is with this, you know, with the fact that we're in a hang glider, is we are going to glide a bit. So we've gone over it. And there's a stall warning. Can we pull out of the stall and turn round? I mean, the answer to that is no. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Ah! Ah! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Stay, 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 stay! Okay, that'll do. Oh, we hit a tree. I feel like that was a bit harsh. We were going quite slow at that point and we were in a rubber dinghy. I'm sure bumping into a tree would not have annihilated us like that. Oh well, stream over. I'm going to drop a link to the upcoming stream for Two-Ton Murphy if anyone who's watching wants to go and join that. Machu Picchu. Ah! Sign into chat my ass. No, there! Arrivederci. I'm going to claim victory of that landing at the end, by the way, because if you go back and watch it, we should be walking away from that with cuts and bruises from the branches at the worst. Bye.